Hey, I'm Clifford Bates, and welcome once again to reading Machiavelli's Discourses. Today, we're looking at chapter 56 of the book 1 in book 1 of the Discourses. The title is called Before Great Accidents Occur in a City or a Province, Signs Come That Forecast Them, or Men Who Predict Them, right? This is the word predict. Or preach them. That's the word, preach them, right? That's the way to preach them, or pronounce them. Pronounce them, right? Pronounce them. And this is a short one. It's only going to be one paragraph. So we'll do this. This is like, hence it arises, I do not know. Hence it arises, I do not know. Where does it rise come from? I don't know. But one sees by ancient and by modern examples that no grave accident in a city or a province ever comes unless it has been foretold, either by diviners or by revelation or by prodigies or by the signs of heaven. In other words, no things don't happen for no reason. In other words, if there's going to be a great accident or a great problem, right, a grave accident in the city, things don't really happen out of the spontaneous. There will be signs. Now these signs are there, and someone will tell them, either a diviner or by revelations, by prodigies, or by heaven, and something there's been a hint that there's going to be a disaster. And heavenly signs, these are symbols, this is like some event or things points, this is going to be a bad problem. So, in other words, something heavenly, that means the weather or something, it will be prodigies of wise, smart people, revelations of the gods themselves, diviners, people divine things. It's knowable. He's saying that if there's an accident, in other words, there's going to be a sign about it there. You just have to be careful about it. So as not to go far from my home to prove this, everyone knows how much had been foretold by Friar Giacomo Savonarola before the coming of Charles VIII of France into Italy. And that beyond this, it has been said throughout Tuscany that there were men-at-arms heard in the air and seen above the Arezzo who were fighting all together, right? So, okay, first let's go look at this. This is in his sermon during Advent 1492, and therefore Savonarola predicted the coming of the new Cyrus from beyond the mountains, who would be the sword of God to punish Florence, and whom nobody would oppose. Charles VIII, invading from France in 1494, met no oppositions, reached Tuscany in October. And he says, on such signs, at the time of Charles VIII invasion, right? See Francesco Guardini's History of Italy, book 1, 9. So, everyone knows, beyond this, that before the death of Leonardo Lizano de' Medici, the elder, the cathedral was struck in the highest part by a heavenly dart, lightning or something, and very great destruction for that building. Right? This is again, this is Florentine History's book 8, line 36. Just before his death, something like a meteor hit, something hit the cathedral and caused a heavenly dart with great destruction for that building. Everyone knows. Everyone knows that soon before Predo Sordinelli, who had been made gonfalconere, Gonfalconere, I can never pronounce that. It's like an office. It's an office. A bearer of a gunafal, or standard or bearer, right? for life by the Florentine people, was expelled and deprived of his rank. The very palace itself was struck by a thunderbolt, right? Again, this is, again, the Palazzo del Signore struck in lightning in 1511. Piero Sordinelli was expelled in 1512, so it's not minutes before or something like that, but it was struck, and therefore symbolic, right? Beyond this, more examples could be brought up that to escape tedium I shall leave out. I shall only narrate what Titus Livy says about the coming of the French to Rome, the Gauls, and that is that one Marcus Sidius, a plebeian, reported to the Senate that in the middle of the night, as he was passing through the Via Nuvola, he heard a voice greater than human that admonished him that he should report to the magistrates that the French, the Gauls, were coming to Rome. All right, this is again 6. Livy 5:2 says that the voice was clearer than clever than human, clearer than human. A great voice, and I'm like, "Friend, the Gauls are coming." I believe the cause of this, I believe, is to be discoursed of and interpreted by a man who has knowledge of things natural and supernatural, which we do not have. So this has to be discourses by someone who has natural. The cause of this. Why does these? In other words, that's interesting. But he asserts that there's always foretelling. There's always these. It's not going to say supernatural, but these. In other words, predictions, these signs of a problem, some great cause or great accident, event, or outcome, or great crisis. Pardon. And that these, but he says that this is going to be what? He says, I believe that it is. I believe is the cause of this is to be discoursed and interpreted by a man who has knowledge of this natural and supernatural that we do not have. In other words, he's not someone who has knowledge of the natural and the supernatural, and he excludes now by we, the audience, his audience, and him too, do not have. So is he saying he doesn't know the natural? He doesn't have doesn't really know the nature, the natural causes of natural and supernatural things? The causes of this should be discussed by a man who has knowledge of things natural and supernatural. So therefore, both natural and supernatural. He only, in other words, Machiavelli will say that he only has things of natural. He doesn't understand the things of the supernatural. He doesn't really. Maybe that's the good thing. But most the things of both the natural and supernatural, we do not have. And yet it could be, as some philosophers would have it. Now, Cicero di Divine and Petro Palmazelli Traxus de Immortal Enemy and Immortality in Animality, right? These two books on provocate. Philosopher would have it, since this air is full of intelligence, since this air is full of intelligences that foresee future things by their natural virtues, and they have compassion for men, they warn them with like signs, so that they can prepare themselves for defense. In other words, again, this is the idea that nature itself is beneficent. That nature so much, the air, the things in the thing that we're surrounded by, that which is part of being, so cares for us that it wants to tell us about those things. It wants to prepare us to be able to defend against these problems, these future problems. So they want to, Yet, however this may be, one sees it thus to be the truth, and that always after such accidents extraordinary, and new things supervene in the provinces. In other words, okay. Now the thing about this is that often we don't know that the thing. In other words, most of us now know about this because we say, "Oh my God, that thing! Oh my God, this." In other words, we have "Oh God, this was before this." This great event, and this shocking thing happened prior to it. That must have been a clue about this, right? That is kind of one way to do it. This is kind of the cynical kind of side of this. So say, "Oh no, this would a logician say, well, isn't that kind of a post hoc ergo hoc fallacy? You have a correlation of these two things, but is there really a causal? And it's not a cause. I don't think it causes it. He's not saying that. He's not saying that this is a cause of the thing. Rather, this is a warning about the event happening. So something causes this to happen as kind of saying, okay, pay attention, there's going to be a problem. And it's a clue that something is going to happen related to that thing that is, just been done, right? So he says that, yet, as may be seen, one sees it thus to be the truth, right? However this may be, whether it's by this reason or whatever reason, we see it to be true, and that always after such accidents, extraordinary accidents, and new things supervene in the province. Something occurs in the province. And new things supervene in the provinces. In that sense, we end the chapter here. This weird little thing about portents and signs, on the importance of portents and signs. If you have any comments, questions, or ideas, and maybe put them there, and you can do this. Notre Dame, right? Future telling and ideas of things. Cicero's deal, that is something people should maybe look into, the divinations, right? This is that famous over here, right? The divinations. Maybe I would wonder. Maybe I'll go do something on that. That looks interesting. Cicero Dioveni. Hold on, but this so you can see it. Okay, we do it again. Yeah, this is the divinations, right? And then Petro Pontelli. Tractus de Morte of Animi, right? That's another version, of kind of redoing of that for modern audiences at the time, Machiavelli's time. So therefore, let's if you have any comments, questions, or thoughts on this, please put them below. We'll we'll talk about that and think about that. If you like it, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. That helps out everything. Share the video if you liked it really much. Again, share it on social media, share it about, share it with your friends, share it far and wide. By commenting, liking, and sharing, all of these things help the algorithm. Nothing you do if you've not already subscribed. Please consider subscribing. Subscribe. Encourage friends to come and subscribe. Build the channel. Again, this gets the more people, as there's growth here, maybe get more people paying attention to what's going on. And then last but not least, okay, if you didn't like it, you can say no, but say why in the comment. Why in the comment or criticism. I remember there was a comment about a video I did recently from the conference on Aristotle, and someone said, well, how can you ever listen to Aristotle? A man who talked about natural slavery, how could you, would you ever listen to someone who said about that today? No, okay, negative comment like that. I kind of responded saying, that's a misunderstanding of what he means by that. But again, if you have a negative comment, please say what it is. That way people can benefit and learn. There can be an opportunity. If you want to follow me on social media, the social media links are below. If you want to know more about me as a researcher and a scholar and check my academic work, articles and stuff, you can check that stuff out below the social media links, the academic social media links. The social media links below that, the academic social media links. And then you can, if you want to help me to do what I do a little bit, contribute or help contribute, you can do so through Patreon or Subscribestar, or by buying one of the books listed below that are currently available. You can order it now. Of course, you can order to your local bookstore, but you can also do it through an online distributor like Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and like this, or through the publishers directly. Well, therefore, that's it. We'll turn next to chapter 57. So, again, have a great day. Bye-bye.